Banjul recently underwent a 3-day orientation seminar at the Gambia Senior Secondary School. The induction seminar, organized by the Gambia chapter of the Organization for Vulnerable People, OVP, was convened to expose the participants to the effects of juvenile delinquency and unsafe reproductive practices. Louis Mendy has details of the program in this report.
OVP, an organization that looks into the plight of the vulnerable people, is of belief that the vulnerable, if empowered, can contribute significantly to national development. The body, in its drive to accomplish its mission, educates students in particular on certain fundamental issues that deal with the plight of the vulnerable in society.
Our mission at OVP is to make a difference in the lives of these vulnerable people so that they too can enjoy their rights to a better life. I think you will agree with me that they have a right to a better life. Yes, they do, but they are not enjoying it. So this is why at OVP, our mission is to make a difference in the lives of these people so that they too can enjoy their right to a better life. And furthermore, to enable them to contribute meaningfully to national development.
This 3-day orientation seminar, hosted by the Gambia Senior Secondary School, brought together over 25 students from 5 selected senior secondary schools in the capital city. Juvenile delinquency and reproductive health were 2 issues that gained prominence during the interface.
We want to see a society of equal opportunities, and we also want to work with communities to minimize social problems. As part of our vision, we want to see vulnerable people having access to facilities and infrastructure for optimal self-development regardless of gender, socioeconomic status, color, religion, traditions, or your health status.
The 2 subjects are blamed for the problems that usually play a part in the jailing of many juvenile offenders, the issue of early marriage and unwanted pregnancies.
Statistics have shown that hundreds of children are in prisons and some become pregnant because of the poor support systems that they have. Many are held without charge or on trial, while others are carrying unwanted pregnancies due to the lack of knowledge. The topics, therefore, that will be discussed within these 3 days will try to highlight a lot of some of these issues. So you are expected to pay a lot of attention and ask as many questions as possible, as you will be representing us out there in your communities. Like I said, we want to equip you with knowledge and skills that will help you to take full responsibility of your lives and help those around you to create a better and healthier society for all.
The fact that the schools tend to be the foremost institution where children's behaviors are shaped and minds prepared is one reason why the Organization for the Vulnerable decided to target them.
Students who were totally moved by the plight of vulnerable people in our society, that we are harassed, abandoned, neglected, and often they are the object of social restriction in our society, but they are yet to undergo society's greatest burden. We thought it fit that vulnerable people should be given the helping hand in our society for them to participate in nation building. So we decided to form this organization to help those who are in need with regards to their future.
Participants after the seminar are expected to return to their respective schools as ambassadors of the OVP. Through drama and other forms of lectures, they are expected to educate their peers in schools and the wider society the modules learned in the course of this gathering. Louis Mendy, Grts.
Activist and international advocacy group of young people involved in the fight against hunger recently wrapped up a 2-day dialogue with farmers on the 2011 crop failure that affected parts of the country. The group, which worked under Action Aid International, the Gambia, conducted a series of meetings with farmers and duty bearers in the Central River region, the area hardest hit by the crop failure. Modulamin Sise reports.
The 2011 crop failure came as a shock to the farming community, but that shock has equally been cushioned through the intervention of government, the private sector and development partners. However, despite the assistance rendered, the recovery process and efforts geared towards it are not over yet. A network of young people drawn into the naughty battle of fighting hunger thanks to ActionAid International are the latest to intervene in farming communities. Theirs wasn't food aid or donation, but an assessment of the situation of smallholder farmers and a discussion with policymakers and duty bearers on how such problems can be addressed in order to support the food security drive. At various project sites in the Central River region, the hardest hit area of the crop failure according to reports, the activist delegation led by their national coordinator heard from various farmers, both men and women. With support from the National Farmers Platform, the group also held separate meetings with 30 farmers drawn from districts in CRR. The outcome of the meetings held and the interviews made were laid before the governor and his officials. The farmers' demands were farm inputs, increased agricultural productivity through logistical support, improved marketing strategies and facilities, and training centers that will arm youths with employable skills to serve as an alternative source of survival. Addressing the group, Governor Ture commended activists for the move, noting that the information they have gathered will be channeled to the authorities. He, however, called on the group not only to stop at the field visit, but to also venture into agriculture. Activists also visited the National Agriculture Project site at Jahali, where 150 farmers derive their livelihood.
In aquaculture is directly create the employments of the youth and peoples, and also it source of the nutrition. That is, human nutrition is mainly the carbohydrate and proteins. Protein is very costly. So fish generally provide the proteins, good quality proteins, and for food security, in nutrition point, fish is very much essential, and aquaculture must be provide these steps to cheap rate protein for human animal protein like fish.
The coordinator of activists and his colleague from the National Farmers Platform were optimistic that their mission will make an impact.
Any problem that we have in the areas of feeding ourselves in this country, smallholder farmers are the solutions to the problem. So we believe that we will, with the demands submitted to the authorities at CRR here, they will come to the aid of the women farmers, and they will come to the aid of the smallholder farmers, and we will eradicate hunger in this country if they are well supported, and we will definitely mitigate the effect of a food crisis if the smallholder farmers or women farmers are supported.
The aquaculture here where we are, this field, if you can see, this is a field where thousands of people of this region are also relied on having their daily survival from it. And these are areas where one can rely on to gain survival out of it. I think this visit and meeting with the farmers, to discuss along these kind of things.
With the mission concluded and the demands submitted, the farmers visited will only see the benefits when the demands they have made are met by the authorities. Modou Lamin Sise, Grts News.
Well, after 2 weeks of painstaking research on the history of Fouta-Djallon in the Republic of Guinea-Conakry, the University of the Gambia research team has returned to the country. The main highlight of the program was a visit to the headwaters of the 3 major waters located in the Fouta-Djallon Plateau. Ibrahim Balde picks up the rest of that story.
Fouta-Djallon has been a stronghold of Islam since the 17th century. During its heyday, the region was a magnet of learning, attracting students from Kankan to the Gambia and featuring Jahanke clerics at Tuba as well as Fulbe leaders. Geographically, Fouta-Djallon has played a significant role in West African history. Located in the southeastern Guinea, Fouta-Djallon has the potential to attract tourists. Guinea is considered to be the world's largest producer of bauxite and has rich deposits of diamond and gold. The socio-historical fact finders at the University of the Gambia traveled more than 10 kilometers from Labe to Hore Dimba, which accommodates the headwaters of the 3 major rivers. The place is described by many as the Switzerland of West Africa. Well, over the years, various historians have dealt extensively about the important natural attributes within the Senegambia sub-region. What is amazing to discover at the mouth of the Fouta-Djallon Highlands is that the water that is oozing from the rocks is the main source for 3 rivers, River Gambia, River Senegal, and River Niger. Oral accounts recall that these rivers not only provided easy means of transportation from the early immigrants, but also facilitated trade between Fouta-Djallon and the neighboring areas. The head of the research team, Ensa Toure, accompanied by his Guinean handlers, converged on the mouth of the river for a meeting.
Toure reminded the Guardian about the benefit that could be derived